We're pretty good. Is it Roger tonight? Okay. Roger, we're ready. Thank you. All right. Welcome to the January 21st, 2026 Conservation Commission, Berlin Conservation Commission meeting. As a reminder, open session public meetings are subject to being recorded. Your voice and image will be recorded for eternity. All right. Let's get right into it.
All right. So first on our agenda, we had 231 Sawyer Hill Road. They did just let me know that they would like to extend when they're coming in again. So they're aiming for the second meeting in February.
Okay.
Which is February 18th, I believe. So they will not be attending yet. And then if we want to just jump right into Highland Ridge Woods, maybe we can come back to the
Sure, we can come
minutes
back
and
to the
stuff?
housekeeping
Yeah.
stuff, yeah. That way Dan doesn't have to listen
To our
to all the
minutes
boring
being
stuff.
approved.
All right, well, thanks for having me. As I think everybody knows, we kind of co-manage Highland Ridge Woods. SVT owns this portion of the property. The town of Berlin has a trail easement around the full perimeter. So there on the west half of that little horse shape, there is a stream crossing. And we've known about that. So the image here shows a temporary plank bridge that the builders put up back when development started that is serving as the crossing for the stream right now. But we've been thinking about this in terms of equestrian use for the kind of the duration of this project, and looking at the design that we would need to span the bridge for a safe equestrian bridge. It would be a minimum of 16 feet, and so to span that wide, we're talking about some considerable height stringers, and would end up with, at a minimum, 16 inches of grade above the ground. And so that means ramps, and with horseshoes, that means slippery if it's wood. And so we've been looking at alternatives for design and materials, and have been having some good experience. There's this contractor who's been working a lot with the Bay State Trail Riders in several different towns. He's recently done a bunch of bridges in Bolton. We worked with him on a new property in Upton where he's using all engineered materials, no wood. So it's this fiberglass reinforced plastic material that they make with the I-beams, and then it has a grate for decking, and then he lays landscape fabric over that, and then puts on pea stones, and then builds up the ramps with graded gravel materials. And so it's not slippery, there's no wood to rot, and I think it would be a better long-term solution that would be safer for horseback riders here. The downside is it's pretty pricey, and so we had it spec'd out at about $8,000 for this crossing. And so I'm coming to see if you'd be interested in partnering. I think there's several good potential grant sources out there that I think with the town and SVT and potentially Bay State Trail Riders kind of writing each other letters of support, that we might be able to get substantial and maybe all of this funded.
That'd be awesome.
So I don't have enough for everybody, but if you want to share these and kind of glimpse over them, this is a blog that the Bolton Trails keeps on their website with some examples of the bridges. They've been doing quite a lot. They had their funding through the Mass Trails grant, and they built several of these on a couple of their conservation lands.
I think I shouldn't do that.
Sorry, we had a little.
That's okay. So this contractor has all the
Thank you.
equipment and materials. That $8,000 would include installation. So part of the challenge with this site is it's a ways in on the trail system. It would have to be carted in. Some of the images in there shows a little forwarder that he has that actually they bring in. The most awkward piece of this is bringing in the fill material. That's the heaviest and kind of the most difficult to get back into the trail, and that machine does a good job with it. And to kind of give you an idea about the strength of these structures, he's been driving over it on wood vat machines, so they're
Get that out of my brain.
pretty strong lasting materials.
And you know that he can get that machine to where
We've
it
walked
needs
it
to be?
together, yeah, and
Okay.
he said it
Yeah.
wouldn't really be a problem, so
Okay.
he would have to, he'd have driving access down towards the wellhead, and then he'd take the right and go up that half of the trail system, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna answer one of your questions right away, get one of your questions out of the way right now.
This is a little.
So,
daunting.
microplastics in the environment, will the pieces be cut on site?
No, so I think all of the pieces he brings in piece by piece, pre-designed and fit. We could definitely make that a condition. He didn't do any cutting on our site in Upton.
Okay. Yeah, we would prefer that,
Yep.
for
So
sure.
it's a steel I-beam?
I didn't quite get this at first.
No,
That-
it's
that is-
it's
that's
FRP.
actually not
Decent.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
FRP.
it's like a fiberglass reinforced
Plastic.
polymer, I think is the, yeah.
Okay.
Will it degrade at all?
The hope is no. I mean, everything has a life, right? But it's much longer lasting than wood, and so I think this would be there for the lifetime of several wooden bridges.
At really probably only twice the price.
Yeah.
Depends on how you, yeah, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
You'd have, yeah, I mean, a wooden bridge would have to be really stout and
Yes.
really,
Yep,
Yeah.
and would have to have some pretty significant footing in there.
Mhm.
right,
And like I said, that's gonna add to the height and complicate use of a horse on such big ramps.
sure.
I mean, you can do a similar design with wood, but it is not gonna last anywhere near as long.
Yeah.
Right,
Obviously.
right.
The advantage is that you don't get the microplastics, cause you're gonna get the microplastics, I mean, there'll obviously be a lot more if you cut the stuff on site,
Sure.
but it will deposit
It will
microplastics in the
degrade,
environment,
yeah.
it'll degrade, UV, et cetera. But you also don't get the chemistry
yep,
from
that's.
pressure treated lumber, so.
I'm
Sure.
glad you brought that up, cause I was about to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's-
granted, these days that's a lot less toxic than it used to be.
But it's
We're
still.
talking arsenic versus copper, but
Right.
it's still not great. So I mean, it's a trade-off.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You
And,
could get the equestrians in town to fund it.
yeah,
Fund
sure.
it.
That is part of the, kind of the overall question of this is, it is a pretty big expense to put in a bridge for equestrian use when the access for horseback is not formal at this point. All of the connecting trails around the west and the two on the north are all unprotected and kind of informal access, which right now is fine, but I don't know how long those will be undeveloped and
Right.
accessible.
Could you folks leave it?
Yeah,
Here, Jen.
true.
And I'll try
But
not to spill.
it isn't
Probably.
only for equestrian.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
we're
would be-
making it to the scale that we're doing
Yep.
for horse safety. But even with climate change, a bigger,
Yeah.
more robust bridge there is not a bad idea.
Yeah, and then behind a senior development with less slippery grades would be a
Sure.
good thing, yeah.
Yep, exactly. So I don't think it's, while the equestrian population is a focus, it's not the only reason to make it to this degree.
Yep.
So I'm definitely to your point, it may be inaccessible to them at some point in the future. But I think it's still a worthy project.
Is there parking available for a trailer, or are you anticipating people riding from the surrounding area?
That's what's been currently happening is they're riding
Okay.
from surrounding, yeah, the only parking we have secured for the trail is a typical length parking space,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Right there at the entrance into Highland Ridge, yeah.
The first one's on your left as you enter in the community.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, if it's seeing use, then that's totally fine.
Right,
Yeah, there are horse tracks out there regularly.
yep.
Phil and I saw some folks out there that we just casually walked in to take a look at the site.
Yeah.
They're
They were
walking
there.
around.
There were horseback
no.
ride? Oh, just
Yeah.
walkers.
Walking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yep. And eventually, when the rail trail comes in,
Yes.
and
Yep.
you know, it will be part of a larger
Yep.
system, whether it's horses or not. So, so.
So what do we need? Yeah.
Yeah. So what
So
do you need from us?
I've found half a dozen grant potentials that I think would like to try, and SVT is happy to do that. I think a letter of support would be nice, and would probably go a long way for some of those grants. A couple of them are local. The Cabela's Bass Pro Shops has up to $5,000 for their outdoor fund for local impact, and we're like a mile and a half from their store, so I
Yeah.
would feel like this would be a pretty competitive application. So we're happy to do those. I think a letter of support would be really great. If we're totally unsuccessful with all of those, I might come back and talk about a cost share for building it.
Sure.
But I would hope that we could maybe fund this through some grant.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So let's make it official. Can I have a motion that we have Julia write a letter of support from the commission for SVT's grant aspirations?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I will-
Is there any specific wording that you think would be helpful?
I could share some things with you over email. I'll take a look at some of the grant applications, see what they focus on, and give you a summary, I think.
Yeah.
Great.
That'd be
Sounds
awesome.
good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Oh, no, we should talk about 40 Caves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, do you have pictures? So the snowmobilers are at it again. We believe these are kids, so we blacked out their faces. You know, I mean, very clearly riding snowmobiles on the trail.
It's about 100 yards from the entry point, which is a known previous issue.
On the
Site.
east Lancaster
Yes.
Road area?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, I mean, do you have any suggestions about some things we might be able to try?
I would say if we're not successful with getting local law enforcement to speak with them, I would say that the environmental police would be the next best hope, and they are short-staffed and so have been hesitant, I think, to go and patrol with the hopes of finding somebody. So what they ask for is either tracks and evidence to a location or time trends. Like if I see this one is, you know, at the maybe right after school or on a weekend, if there are patterns from the camera evidence, I think that would be really helpful.
Right, yeah, so
The
this
school
was one.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, they have a general line and can usually direct you to an officer that can follow up with a conversation and maybe share images. And if we had maps, that would be helpful. I'd be happy to help kind of formalize any maps if map making is a challenge for you guys. I could help with that. I know that Jim had maps from previous years we could take a look at and see if those are matching kind of the current trends now. Is it going all throughout the network or staying in that field area?
Sometimes it's red and blue trail both. In this particular instance, that was the case.
Yeah.
So with they leave the property, there's a huge field on conservation land.
Yep.
About a quarter of a mile from the entry point, and that's just riddled with it. I've got new photos that I haven't shared yet, but and then there's they come back on the blue trail back to the red trail back So they have, these actually were coming back from that loop. And just before they arrived back at the, I have to say that most of the time it's out to the field and back, out to the field and back. And that part of the trail is worn right down to the, almost to the soil. And then one of the videos I shot was me pacing off a spot on the field where you could see the churn of the track, and the skis left the ground, and about 60 feet later they came back down. That's a heck of a lot of power for a juvenile
Yeah.
rider. And then on that field, at the north end of that field, there are 2 or 3 additional entry-exit points, and I don't know if these riders go up into that private land and ride and then come back on. I don't know if those entry points, because Jim confronted some kids on that field that were coming in from the private land on the north side of the field.
Yep.
And I don't know if those tracks, they said, oh, we won't do it anymore, but you know how that goes. Or if these folks were using the private land as well.
Right.
I just don't know.
Yep.
And the private land in the past has always had no trespassing signs. I did not see them when I was there on Monday. That doesn't mean they weren't there.
We've put up
Those are
numerous signs.
And are they still there, or have
Yeah.
they've been torn
They
down?
get torn down.
Yeah.
We have video of that.
We have
but
video of them tearing it down, but
Yeah.
we couldn't use that either because their house was in the background.
Right.
But how else do you show orientation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you can show the tracks in the snow leading to the house, but how do you do that without getting the house it to show this is where they're going? So
It would seem to me that would still be helpful in the very least to show that they have been posted. One of the key things is that are the boundaries and the rules posted, and so
Right.
they're not now, but you can show that there's been
Because
a pattern of.
they're not
of
because-
posting. Yeah.
because they keep taking them down.
There's one additional violation that I think we need to address, and Jim brought it up too, and that is there's a big brush pile right on the edge of the wetland, right on the the verge where there's a slight downhill, and I photographed some of the cuts. They're fairly recent because there's very little oxidation on the cuts.
Right, that happened this summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over the summer or fall. And then another visit out there, and someone had walked across from the same entry point and dumped a bucket of fireplace ashes or stove ashes or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the brush pile.
Why not?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Both of those are on town land?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And the other violation, I suppose, is crossing the railroad tracks. It's an arrestable offense.
I think there's a legal farm crossing for.
For farm use. And I don't think he's growing those ashes. Oh, okay, enough of that.
Right.
But there's a farm just north of there, and they're the ones who cut the hay and things like that. And I suspect they have a farm crossing.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this particular
yes,
house.
they do,
That's-
but
and
I
that's
don't.
Clinton.
You're right. I don't know about
Yeah.
that other one. Yeah.
I don't see any farm equipment. I don't see any farm activity. Just a house and a barn and a shed.
Yeah.
So,
So Dan, where's the nearest environmental police facility?
It's a good question.
Are they in
because they're-
Westboro with
Yeah,
DCR?
they might be in Westboro, but they're all over, and their number is an 800, and they connect you with the closest officer who's patrolling at that time.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have a magic answer
I
either,
know.
but
We didn't
we've had
expect
a couple cases of good luck when the environmental police can actually ticket or tow or take away equipment that sends the message pretty quickly.
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that especially if these are children, that they're being taught
Mm.
the lessons that they're being taught.
Yeah, especially if
just-
it's going through the snow and ripping up the field like you
Yeah.
described. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have pictures. We'll get a dusting,
Yeah.
and there's snowmobile tracks with the leaves all torn, you know, and like there's not even enough snow to
No.
support the machine, really.
Yep.
So. All right.
Do you want to, as the landowner, I think it would probably be best if the town follows up.
Yeah.
But if there's any support or anything that I can offer through SVT, I'd be happy to. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys have always been great. All right. We will keep on fighting the
right.
good fight.
Very good. Let me know how it goes.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thanks,
Always
Dan.
nice to see you, Dan.
Nice to see you.
I do have just like images of the laws for it, and highlighted the ones that we think are likely being broken.
Yeah, so there's a couple in this middle one.
Okay.
So it's operating without written permission of the owner.
Mhm.
And operating without a minimum of 4 inches of snow cover.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. And
Can you back up?
Yeah.
And I think we may have this one if I place the new cameras. Before the problem was the camera has like a 2-second delay from motion to turning on.
Yep.
And that's the minimum I can get on these two particular cameras. But you would see the snow swirling and you could hear the roar and the Doppler effects of the roars going away. So they had gone past that camera so quickly that the camera didn't trigger fast enough to get the machine, but you got the audio. You know,
Wow.
screaming, yeah. And that's why I said at that particular, I hope I placed that camera well enough. At that particular place, it's so open, it's hard to place a camera without somebody seeing it.
Right.
So, I think next time I'll take a 12-foot ladder out there and put it up in the tree. Well, I did that on the motorcycle stuff.
Yeah.
I carried a ladder in there, it's like half a mile. I know, it's an idiot.
Just determined. That's all. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That would be a hard one to
Mhm.
measure and
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
There's enough of the other ones on there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
Right. Great.
Okay.
And AJ did draft a sign and get an estimate. I'll let you take it from there. I'm not sure if that's something the commission wants to consider.
145 apiece, but if we order 6 or more, 135. And I wanted to make a modification to this second line and just say, drop the preposition and report violations by email.
Right. So why so big?
Okay, so they're on both of the legs of the trail that these folks are using, there are spots narrow enough that a 2-foot wide sign will be enough to block so the machine can't get by on either side. The trail going over on the berm over the creek and that whole swamp is about 5 or 6 feet wide total. The other one has trees growing close enough to the trail opposite each other that I think it'll be the same thing. And on one side, there's an old fence. I don't think they want to get tangled up in that. So I think if we plant that sign in the middle of the trail with a camera on it, with careful consideration, they won't be able to get by it without just, I don't know, tear off the sign or something.
Which they'll do.
Hmm?
Which they'll do. I mean,
they've done all the other ones. Right. So how do you plan on installing?
One of those tapered posts, drive it in, and I think it'll drive right through the frost with a big hammer, and then remove the driving block, cause you drive them in with a block of wood mounted in the, and then drop a 4x4 post. That's what those anchors are for.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, yeah. Yes, no, maybe?
Thoughts?
I mean, we're spending $135 a pop for signs we know that are gonna get torn down at best and maybe trashed. I'm just, you know,
Right.
We could get a smaller sign and I could mount it on a 4-foot long board, or 2-foot long, you know? We
I
could
mean,
do
you're-
that.
Yeah.
you're not gonna prevent them with the sign though. That's not gonna stop them. It'll slow them down. They'll see it, they'll get off, they'll rip it down, and then they'll keep on going.
Yeah.
Or they'll find an alternate route, and then you've got braiding with snowmobiles. Yeah, like I know you said there's a fence, but like if they don't.
Well, there's a fence on one side and it's down into the swamp on the other. But
Right. but
whatever. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I
So-
think we need to document, and we either need to talk to the police chief again, or we need to go to the environmental, and then go to the environmental police after he tells us that we've done something wrong, and so he can't pursue it, or just doesn't want to.
Are there any posts that we could put up that could maybe, I don't know, necessarily be more permanent, but I don't
You know
know,
what
just
we've
thinking
done in
out
other
loud.
places because of the motorcycles? Big rocks. It's almost like a gap in a rock wall. And they've figured out how to get in there and move them around with levers and whatever, but
Come-alongs probably, but.
it would discourage them.
Yeah, I mean, big rocks would probably be more effective than this stuff, especially if they don't have their parents involved and the kids would have to figure
Yeah,
something out.
but
That would
along
certainly
that
be more
swamp,
fun.
there are no rocks.
Right.
You're gonna
I
have to
don't,
haul
I'm
them
not
in.
familiar, I'm not familiar with the exact
Yeah,
area you're
yeah, I
talking about,
know,
so
I know,
can't.
I know. I'm not trying to,
Um,
I'm not trying to say any of that. I
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I think we should do something. I don't know what the right thing to do.
The other
is.
thing would be plant 2 of those posts with no sign, just plant, you know.
Yeah.
And the pedestrians can get through without any trouble. There are no, bicycling is not permitted in 40 Caves. So we don't have to worry about that. We just walkers and with their dogs.
Right, but just a couple of posts in the ground, they'll come out there with a hacksaw, you know, and then we've wasted that
Well, then
money.
they're destroying town property.
They're already destroying town property.
Okay, let's see if we can manage this with, we should ask Dan if he has signs, cause we got some signs from him once.
Right. I mean, I'd rather spend $50 at Lowe's with, on signs and
Do
put
they
up
make,
numerous.
no motorized vehicles? I'll find some.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
In
don't,
the world of the internet, I am sure we
I
can
found a
find
no
some.
dumping sign,
Oh, there you go. Yep.
so,
yeah, I mean, I think we should put up signs. I think we should maybe put in some posts. I don't think we should be trying to block the trail with the signs, especially at $135 a pop. That math doesn't work to me.
yeah, okay.
Anybody else?
And I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
Similar to what Highway did down in South Commons, because there are tracks down on the South Commons from
Yep.
cars taking the shortcut to the school where they put up a nice boulder,
Yep.
is that, oh, yeah.
Have you
when
seen that?
when you
No,
go
I
around to
haven't
get-
seen that.
It's the size of a
When you go
car.
around to get the sand, there's the opening from part of Pleasant Street
Okay.
in the back. There are tire tracks, car tire tracks, coming across the field.
Nice.
So Highway put up a giant boulder right in the middle of it,
Yeah.
so.
I would
Yeah.
rather do that. I think it looks more like part of the natural landscape, and I do understand the difficulty of doing that in the woods on a trail.
Well, I have a safety
We'll-
concern
We
too.
will
If you're
figure
putting
that
up
out.
signs and somebody's not paying attention and they get hit.
Well,
is there
so
potential liability and
right.
Yeah.
So
Even though it's
hence
on
the
them.
color, hence the size. Hence
Oh, and
we're gonna put reflectors
Yeah.
on the posts. I know. Because that was my first concern.
I would maybe consult with legal counsel for all of 10 minutes before you invest in signs to block a trail.
Right.
Some smarmy lawyer will take that on, regardless of what you have, and put the town at severe risk.
Even though we're trying to protect the town by keeping the snowmobilers off of our property,
You hurt me. You purposely put up stuff that hurt me. It
Some
injured
doddering old
me.
fool like me can't get out of the way of a snowmobile if it's screaming through the woods. Yeah, I know.
yeah, it's unbelievable that we can't get
Support.
help and support on this.
Getting boulders delivered, like, if that's really, I'm not familiar with exactly where
It's
they're
about a
starting,
20-minute walk from the parking area.
Up and downhill.
That's.
So we'd have to harvest them
That's
out
gonna
of the forest
require-
somehow.
Yeah, or bring them from off-site, and in either case, that's gonna require heavy equipment to do anything that would actually be useful.
Right.
So.
So
you know,
we're
mini
tearing up the
excavator at
trails.
best.
Like I said,
Yeah.
they could be harvested. There are some rocks out there, I know.
At
Yeah.
40 caves?
One or two.
Oh, no.
But even then, if it's that far in, if it's that far away from that area, you're still gonna need more than just people power to get it over there.
Right.
And if you do it at the right time of year, dry summer or, cold winter with no snow on the ground and the ground's frozen, you're not gonna do any damage. But
Do we have to worry about putting rocks in the trail and then somebody tripping over the rocks, you know? What's
Not
the
if they're
answer?
big enough.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, if we're gonna do something that's big enough that it's actually gonna deter these guys, then no, you won't be tripping over that. You'll
Right.
be just walking into it.
And there, like I said, there are narrow
We'll paint it
spots
bright
on
orange.
the trail where one sign or one rock would likely do the trick. Maybe a few rocks because they're
Yeah.
not going to be each 2
Right.
feet wide. But
So I think
I wonder if I took a picture down the trail. I don't know if it'll give you a clue. I hate to bring this up. Oop, how do you? There we go.
I mean, can Highway do that for a request we'd make, or if we would have to help with the fund or the expense of that? I
Right.
assume.
snowmobile tracks. If we're protecting
I would
city
say as
property.
much as they probably would want to, that's a harder thing to get to happen than us doing it
Understood.
ourselves. All right, so let's table the signs for now. Let's pursue alternative methods and maybe get some cheap signs.
See what I can find. I'll see what I can find.
All right.
Thanks for all your work out there.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It was an absolutely gorgeous day to be in the forest.
I bet. I bet.
I'm sorry I couldn't join you.
That's why I stayed 2.5 hours.
All right. Heading back to the top of the agenda, the meeting minutes from December 3rd and December 17th were sent out if people had a chance to review those.
Looked good to me.
I wasn't here for the 3rd, so I can't vote on those, right?
Unless you watched the video.
I did not.
Okay. So we will take them separately.
Actually, at the last meeting, that video wasn't up yet.
Yeah, that's
it
why
up
there's
now?
that's why there's two, because
Yeah, right.
it wasn't uploaded in time for
Right, for
Yep.
the last meeting, yeah. All right, can I get a motion to accept the December 3rd, 2025 minutes? Lexi,
So moved.
Second.
any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, now we'll do December 17th. Can I get a motion to accept the December 17th minutes?
I move to accept the December 17th minutes as presented.
Thank you.
Second?
Any further, we have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Great.
Alright.
Moving on to the treasurer's report, there's no new updates there. As a heads up to the commission though, we will be meeting with FinCom next January 28th to go over the budget for FY27.
So it's just standard, everybody who has a budget has to sit in front of FinCom and justify your ask. We haven't changed the amount we've asked for in 8 or 9 years, I bet. So,
Is it just you or the whole commission?
it has to just be at least me. If anybody else would like to attend to see what it's all about, you are welcome to.
What's the date on that?
January 28th at 8 p.m.
It's usually pretty, I mean, now, the last time there was any like real questioning was when I was trying to increase Maddie's hours from 8 to 10. The first year, so it took 2 years to do it, and so there were questions. First year, they asked us to basically justify the additional hours, so Maddie did a monthly report, sent that to Kristen to say, here are all the things that I do with my 8 hours a week. And then the next year when we applied for the 10 hours, it was fairly easy. We're not looking to increase the hours, we're not looking to increase our budget, so I don't imagine it will be anything very difficult. But thank you.
Of course, absolutely. No bills or forms. We did receive in the mail a hard copy of an NOI that is set to come to the February 4th meeting. I believe 88 Lancaster, does that sound right?
Or is it 88 Randall?
I
I know, I'm
I
trying to,
have
yeah.
it, I have it. There's
I know,
definitely 88.
I know there's a couple of things kind of out there floating that we've been.
88 Carter Street.
Carter.
So that will be on the agenda for the next meeting, and we did receive the hard copy.
Did we receive digital also?
Yes.
Okay, can you just send that out to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, whenever we get digital stuff ahead of time, if you can send it out so people have a chance to look at it at their leisure.
Absolutely. Okay, we did Highland Ridge already. Moving on to enforcement orders. No updates regarding Maplewood Farms. For 92 Allen Road, as a reminder, this was going on prior to the holidays. They had one last step of the enforcement order, which was putting straw down on top of the project. It was requested that they put that down middle of December. I've followed up with them 4 or 5 times. I have gotten responses from the consultant, but it's that hasn't been put down yet. Yes.
We talked about this at the December 17th meeting, I think. Phil and I
Yes.
went out there, but there was enough snow and ice on there that it wouldn't have been appropriate to attempt to put the straw down, and now it's gonna be a
last
month
week,
before we get.
last week or the week before would have been the perfect time.
Yeah, it sure
when
would
all
have.
the snow melted.
Absolutely.
I didn't think, I know I was out there for other things, but you don't think they did, do you?
To put it down?
Yeah.
No, they have not.
Yeah, okay.
I've been in contact with the
Thank you.
consultant, and he's confirmed it hasn't been put
Okay.
down.
Yeah, right after the meeting, you and I
Right.
went out
Yeah,
the next, like the
exactly.
next day.
Yeah, and at this point with the ground frozen, it's not quite
No.
as,
Okay.
I think we just want to keep up with them, especially if there is a time that the snow all melts. But definitely as the ground, as things start warming up, we want it down before the thaw and rain, spring rains and
Okay,
all of that for sure.
that makes sense. But wait until the snow is more
Is
or less gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Because the purpose of it is to hold the soil in place until the plants come up. Right now the soil's not going anywhere, so
Frozen under
but
snow.
but just like keep on them to say, hey, we're still watching,
Okay.
kind of thing, and we want it down by the spring.
Sounds good. And they've been responsive. It's
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that we've lost track of them.
Nothing really going on with Bigelow Road, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that should be stable at least until the spring.
Nothing with land acquisition. I don't have anything else for trail maintenance or
Not a lot going on right now.
yep.
Yep. I can say that the CPA, the last CPA meeting 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I reported that we had gotten in touch with DCR. There was a process that we were aware of as to how to get a permit to do the work that we want to do on on DCR land. I talked to the forester. I have his contact information. He's local. So when the time, I told him, I kind of explained the series, the timing of how CPA projects work, and that we wouldn't be doing anything on the property until after July 1st anyway, but we wouldn't even be looking to apply for a permit until after town meeting, because we don't know whether the project will be approved by the town or not. We have to hire somebody first because they need to know who will be working on the property. So for us, the steps will be, CPA has to vote to recommend, which they have not yet. That'll be at the next meeting. Select board needs to vote to put it on the warrant. Once it's on the warrant, the town needs to vote. It needs to be approved at town meeting. Then we start looking for someone to hire. Then we apply for the permit. Then the work gets done.
How does the process?
Right? So, yeah.
Good times.
Good times. But I think it'll, I think the hardest thing will be finding somebody, finding a contractor that wants to do it. Yeah. So, but we have a path.
That's
So
always a good thing.
so we'll
First
go with
step.
that. Yep.
The other issue too is getting enough bids.
Correct. Well, that's what I mean, right?
Like we've got one formal bid
Right.
already, but we should technically have, two more? At least
I
three.
believe that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should probably start looking for other contractors, actually sooner than later, just so we have the bids in hand
Right.
when the time comes.
Maybe March we'll start
Something like that, yeah.
paying
Because
attention to that.
otherwise,
Right.
I know how it goes with contractors and subcontractors, and sometimes it's like pulling teeth.
Right.
So.
Bye.
Going to FinCom if
I
you need
know.
anything, I'm across the hall.
Thank
fun.
you. Have
Take
fun.
care.
Yeah, and it will be better at town meeting if we have 3 quotes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, all right. Well, we have a little bit of breathing room until then.
A little bit.
yeah.
It'll sneak up on us like it usually
It
does.
always does. And then the Lyman Road parking area, probably in March we should start paying attention to getting that finished off.
Yeah, I might start reaching out to the bench company. I mean, I don't know how it's going to go at this point because it's been so long. But
Okay.
I'll talk to them and see what they want to do. And then we have to figure out the fence post thing. Are we just using volunteer labor and digging wow, I can't talk, fence post holes now? I feel like that's kind of what we landed on at this point.
Right, because our contractor wasn't interested in doing it. I mean, we can talk to the highway department and see if they would dig some holes for us with their machines.
I can ask them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean.
Well, I talked to Fred and he said
I
they,
think they just dug them by hand.
up at the other fence that we put in,
Oh, they dug them by hand,
right?
yeah,
Remember that?
yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Was the upshot of that.
right. And do we know how many holes need to be dug?
Not off the top of my head, but, you know, a lot.
Yeah, right.
I think it was.
I think it was like 17.
Yeah, 17 or 18, yeah.
Because
That's
you
right
gotta
on the
post
money.
every 8 feet approximately.
Right.
And give or take, the
Yeah,
layout doesn't allow for
35,
8 feet.
35, and 75 or something, or
It's
8.
closer to 60 or 65.
Is it?
but yeah.
Talk about fun times.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. All right, well, that, we don't need to think about that
We'll
right
burn
now.
that bridge when we get
Yeah.
to it.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Conservation restrictions. River Run, there's no new news there. We're still working on the process that we have discussed.
Right, I saw an email from Kristen asking, and then I saw an email from you with the agreement.
Yes, which has now been sent to SVT.
Okay, so they're reviewing it, so that's where that stands. Okay.
Correct. And we will reach out to DCS.
DCR.
Okay, so, yeah, we'll reach out to them once the agreement is kind of worked through.
Oh, the EEA.
Okay.
I know, all these letters. It's the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs.
So many acronyms.
And, yeah.
So, that just jogged my memory. I actually met with SVT to kind of just discuss things. And one thing that they suggested was possibly reaching out to see if just removing Boundless Adventures is something that, rather than us going through this process and then sending it to them to review, they were wondering if we wanted to check in first and make sure it's something that they would approve at their stage before we continue down the track that we are on.
They who? EEA?
Yes.
Well, the amendment is more than just that. That's the part they're most concerned about, but the town is most concerned about the wellhead.
Yeah.
So, I think it's more complicated than, and the town can't reach out until we own it.
Okay.
Like, that's the part that, so we cannot reach out to EEA about doing anything on that property until we own it.
Own it. Got it. So that kind of
Right.
point can't
Right.
really
Yeah,
work around that.
I mean,
Got it.
we could call someone with a hypothetical,
Hypothetical, but there's no real.
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Horseshoe Pond, kind of same limbo. We've reached the agreement with SVT, kind of where it stands, and it's now being reviewed.
Right, so the town had it, well, SVT put it together, we reviewed it. The lawyers went back and forth, we went back and forth, we all agreed, we sent it to EEA, EEA had some questions, they sent it back, answered the questions. It's now the final review for EEA, and as long as they're happy with it, we should be signing it as soon as they review it.
Yes.
Like, I believe everything is done.
Yep.
It's just a
correct.
matter of
Yep.
signatures. I know. That's been a long process.
There is one small, very, 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 very small. There was a CPA vote from 2021 that we need to get the original attested copy for. So when the CR goes to be recorded, that there's a good chance that will be requested by the registry. So I'm going to be working with the town clerk to get that.
Have you already talked to her about it?
I've sent an email.
Okay.
But
If
not
we can wrap
discussed
this
yet.
up before 9:00, we'll walk down the hall.
Sounds good.
I hope we get
Which
some
I know, right?
cheese.
Yeah. And then Powder House Hill, that is SVT has that as well, right?
SVT has that as well. They voted to accept the CR. That was kind of what our meeting was about as well. There is a draft that they are working on the edits for. When they are done with their comments, they will send it to us for us and town council to review. So 3 for 3, that's kind of where we're in the limbo waiting
Right.
for it to be sent
At least
over.
we're at different stages with all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is
All right.
all for the CRs.
I assume you haven't heard anything from
I
Gary.
have actually.
What?
What?
Yes.
It's winter. He doesn't have a lot of work to do right now.
It's exactly when we want him to be doing our work.
Yes, and I did get his phone number, so if we need to be in contact with him again, I'm going to go the route of just calling him instead of emails.
Sure.
So he suggested that we move forward with what the original plan was. He talked about how if we do the harvest first, that will thin out the woods and that will make it so less invasives need to be, it'll be a lighter spraying, which will be more economically feasible. And then by that time, we'll have an estimate of how much money that we have to put towards invasives and can decide if we want to move forward or not. But at least the option is there if the harvest was started in that area. So that's kind of what
Did he give you any indication as to when he thinks that might be?
He said he would be happy to start marking when we give him the go-ahead.
Are we ready? Do we need to vote to give him the go-ahead, or?
I move we give Gary the go-ahead to begin marking trees in the Ball Hill Conservation Area.
So
Second.
we do have a work order from him from quite a bit ago.
Mm.
It's still active for another month. So my question is that I'm not sure if everyone will know, but does the work have to be completed or started by that deadline?
Started typically, but
Yeah. And it's 5 weeks. It's March
5
3rd
weeks.
and March 4th. But yeah, so, all right, so there's a motion and a second on the table. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So, like tomorrow, tell Gary anytime he wants to start. Also, ask him if he will extend the time limit, the time on this.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Exciting stuff.
You can't even. Right, so I believe his plan is that he's gonna mark what he would like to harvest, and then we're gonna do a site walk.
Okay.
So that everybody understands and will, want to, publicize that so that anybody who's interested, in understanding what's gonna happen out there is welcome to join the site walk.
Sounds good.
All right.
Great. Any updates from the internship? I know.
Well, I had reached out to the twins, and they had asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to, and then I forgot to ask you if you knew the answer to it. / reach out to the library. but they had asked if the library has any resources on the history of the trails in town, specifically the trail that they're doing, which is one of the Mount Pisgah trails. And I didn't know the answer, so that's on me. I need to respond to them and figure out the answer to that question.
Okay.
But
What are they doing on the trail?
they are working towards a guided trail walk, and one of them wants to focus on the history of the land and the trail in their talk. And I think they're going to kind of do it together. So kind of do a history and then also what it looks like now and what you're looking at in this moment and this moment.
And where was
What
this?
trail?
It's the one that had the fire damage.
That does not narrow it down at all.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it, so, but if
So
you,
the main
It's
trail
off
going
of Ball
up.
Hill.
from,
It's
from
probably
Northborough.
Menzner.
I think it is.
That's like the
The
main
blue
trail.
one,
that
right?
goes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
But because the whole top of that of Mount Pisgah got pretty well torched. And it might be Menzer, it's not Menzner.
No, I think it's
It's something
Miz-
like that.
Yeah.
I always mess it up.
That parking lot up there has maybe 6 or 8 spaces.
Oh, so this is up on Ball
Is
Hill?
is it allowed to? Are we allowed to park on the road up there too? Do you
Where?
know?
I don't know.
If we're gonna do a trail walk, I was just worried about the parking. Can we?
Oh, if you're talking about off of, it's actually Smith Road at that point.
Right, because
Yeah,
it's in
right.
Northborough.
It's
Yeah.
on the Northborough side.
Yeah.
But,
It's on the north
I'm
side.
sure.
yeah,
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be lucky to get.
There's more than 8 cars worth of parking there, and people
Is
do
there really?
spill out. Yeah, and people do spill out onto the road
Okay.
regularly, and I
I
haven't
thought I remembered
seen any
that.
problems with it.
Yeah.
And not too far, but it's not a very busy road, and it's pretty wide.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm glad your memory's
So
good.
do
Mine is not.
you-
well,
Do you know the answer to that off the top of your head, or should
I
I reach out to the library?
I would definitely reach out to the library. Honestly, I'd also reach out to Walter.
Mm.
I was gonna say.
What are they looking for in terms of the history?
Just any resources on the history of that trail, / the land where that trail now is. Yeah, also now that Ms. Sequeira is no longer the principal, I don't know the current principal. I knew and liked Ms. Sequeira, and I don't know this new person,
Right.
so.
Do you want to just like start with an email introducing yourself and what we've been doing, and to see if they're interested in continuing?
Sure.
Okay.
It's Menzner. It is Menzner.
Do we, well, whenever, can we talk about Earth Day, or is that appropriate with
Yeah,
all this? Or
yeah,
well,
I mean,
whenever-
because
whenever
that's
it's-
part of
yeah.
reaching out to Tohoto, so.
Okay, yeah, whenever. Well, I was at the school on Friday, teaching, and then I spoke to Rich Cameron, who's the, I did meet the new principal, but, you know, it was just a handshake, you know, so,
And what's the new principal's name?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay,
tell
that's
you.
fine.
Was she the assistant principal?
I don't think so.
It's not Renee?
It's not Renee. I don't know if Renee is still there. That's the other thing. I really don't know the whole.
Right.
But Rich Cameron, who is the vice principal and has been there for some time, has, you know, we talked about it. Well, we had a phone conversation and a brief, like early, I was there early in September and just mentioned it in passing. And I says, well, when we get closer, let's talk about what we could do so we could really try to integrate what we want to do from a commission standpoint and how it could appeal to the faculty.
For
So-
Earth Day.
For Earth Day.
Okay.
So we could talk about how we can, you know, if there's conservation in whatever classes there are, or environmental issues, how can we integrate? And art, maybe we can have posters or something designed on the website, you know, just talking about what we could do. And I mentioned, because there were, you could remind me, there were a handful of students, high school students, that did help out last year. But he was confident as well that more would probably, and since we're not building birdhouses this year, maybe.
That actually, something you said made me think of this. What about a poster contest?
Absolutely. I think they'd be totally open to that.
Okay.
Cool.
And Rich is a great guy.
Great.
He's happy to be involved. I just told him we were going to bring it up at the meeting tonight. And I think all those things are possible, so we can get these kids interested in what we're doing and make a difference in what we're hoping to accomplish this
Right,
year.
so I think a poster contest would be great, and then, and then just volunteers to help on Earth Day. We could have people help sign up, have people help actually pick up trash. They'd need to have some sort of permission or have their parents with them or something.
Right.
And help bring stuff that's collected to the transfer station.
Right.
I think those would probably be the most useful
Sure.
things.
I still have most of the signs, I think, from last year, because they're not dated, I don't believe.
Right.
I'd have to look, they're down in my basement, so we do have those, but, and then the outreach, because I know Louise, you did a great, getting sponsors for food and bottled water and
Mm-hmm.
Right.
the big landscaping bags to put all the junk in.
Yep.
So we could be happy to talk about that as well,
Mhm.
so we can
Yeah.
get those donations in place.
Yes, that could probably help. I probably won't do as much on Earth Day as I used to, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Any
Yeah.
any help would be great.
right. So are they doing this in Berlin or?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. If Boylston wants to do something also, that's them, but we're focusing
yeah.
on Berlin.
and because Walter's actually the person who got the first piece of conservation land from the Tylers, actually from Mrs. Tyler.
You're talking about Pisgah?
Hmm?
Are you talking about Mount Pisgah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that was one question that I had. I actually thought of it last year. I don't know if we talked about it. Is, since the school is, in Boylston, obviously, would that make it, if we did a swath along there and had a little buy-in? I don't know whether we want to do that or not. I
Yeah,
just
I
throw it
don't-
out there. I don't know if
So,
that's stretching our
I don't
resources.
think I would
or-
want to do it on Route 70.
Well,
That's
Well,
a little bit of a,
yeah,
Or
a busy road.
62.
Or 62.
no
Yeah.
problem. I mean, I just,
They do have trails though
Hmm.
on their land.
right,
Do they? Oh yeah, going down to the reservoir.
Mhm.
Yeah.
right.
Um,
But again, however, because Lexi, you've been, obviously you've worked with a lot of people there as well, and a couple of them last Friday says, "Oh, say hello to Lexi for me." So again, I just kind of tossed it out there. And did we confirm the date, or we want to do that, or do that
Oh,
soon?
right. We
so
want-
we can get that.
First Saturday in May.
Yeah.
First Saturday in May.
That's when Earth Day will be.
No.
That's when we'll do the
Second.
town cleanup.
So when Earth Day's in April.
Yeah,
though.
right, yeah.
The 22nd.
Sorry.
Right, Earth Day's the 22nd. So tell me why you're thinking May?
We decided to go to the first Saturday in May because of the conflicts with other activities in town.
Especially
Both
school
around Earth Day,
vacation. Right. 'cause-
vacations, sometimes religious holiday, and the other thing was the fishing derby. Families are tied up with,
Right. So,
we're almost always in conflict with that fishing derby.
What did you say the date was? The 2nd?
That's
May 2nd.
May 2nd,
Second.
And I'll be in the Netherlands.
which is, oh, so you're
On
gonna
Earth
miss
Day.
town meeting? Oh, right, and so town meeting is almost surely gonna be the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll be back. Oh, I'll be in West Virginia. I may as well just quit now.
Are you bragging or complaining?
Yes.
All right, so, but you'll be here for the 2nd?
Yes. No.
May 2nd?
Ann put this on there, so.
When will you be here?
Should be home by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That might be a little late.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, why don't you get together your availability?
We could make it the 9th if we have.
Well,
Would you
we
say-
could
what would you
also
say?
do like April 11th, do it earlier.
You know why I like earlier? Poison ivy's not out, and
Right.
all the foliage by the first
Right,
of
it's
May,
still-
you're trying to find trash among a lot of.
Right.
Be easier to find all the trash as the
I mean,
trees. are.
whatever
Yeah.
makes the most sense and works for your schedule.
And that's definitely well before April vacation.
Right, because April vacation interferes with it a lot.
Right.
Yeah, it's the weekend before vacation starts.
So is April vacation the 13th that week?
No,
This-
the next week.
The 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah. So April 11th puts a full weekend, yes, exactly. Sorry, Lex. Sometimes a little calendar challenged. All right. April 11th. Does that work for you, Mr. Busy?
Yes.
All right, let's, does that work for everybody else? So far, so good, anyway?
I won't be
Oh, no, where are you gonna be?
not here.
Not here. All right, well, I guess you're gonna have to pick up trash on your own when you come back.
Sounds good. Can do.
All right, Earth Day cleanup, April 11th. We in agreement?
Sounds good.
All right. And you're gonna talk to whoever at the school?
Yeah, Rich, I'll talk to Rich Cameron, the vice principal.
Okay,
I'll send him an email probably tomorrow,
okay.
so get him. And would anyone else want to meet? If we set up a meeting over there, anybody's welcome to come. Or
Be happy to go.
Good. So I'll see what we can do to.
Just not before 6.
No problem.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And you were gonna pick up the library thing, which really there isn't much right now anyway.
I've talked with Victoria twice,
Okay,
and she has.
So would you be doing
She
all the
says
way
that
from
the children's librarian will
North
select a
Carolina all
book,
the way
but we
down
have
to
talked
Linden
about
Street?
I don't know yet.
You don't
the
know?
steps and process, and she still wants to come to the first meeting in March.
okay.
to,
And you have that jotted down?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. What else? What do you got?
MACC is coming up on the 28th of
Oh,
February. I think.
yes.
Anybody going? I would like to go if I may.
You, of course you may.
Well, of course I may, but will you reimburse?
Of course. Well, I guess I can't decide that. Historically, we
Yeah.
have in the past always
Good enough for my
reimbursed.
What date is that?
I think it's February 28th, isn't it?
I think that's.
Yeah.
I think so.
Which I think is a little bit, is like a week earlier than they usually do it.
I thought it was March 1st. I went
Problem
last
is
year, I thought it was March 1st, but.
Right,
I
it was
could be
always
wrong.
the first week
Yeah.
of March, but,
I looked it up before breakfast, but I already forgot. I don't remember what I had for breakfast either. So.
it's definitely a good, is it February 28th? Maybe I'll even go.
Okay.
If I can, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's
Yeah.
too many, I might consider, I'll check my schedule.
Is it something, do you think you probably have to work? It's a
I definitely have to
Saturday.
work unless I request it off.
Okay. It's very, it's a very cool thing to do if you've
I know,
never,
I've been wanting to do it for a while.
What
Yeah.
is that?
MACC conference.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah, they're
can't make it.
very
I've already
interesting.
got plans.
Boo.
Going up to the White Mountains and mountain biking, fat
Oh,
biking.
cool.
For a buddy's birthday.
Hopefully it won't be as cold as it will be this coming weekend up there.
This Saturday is gonna be so cold.
It's gonna be so cold.
I'm so excited.
All right. Well, if you decide to go, that would be awesome. All right. What else?
We have about a half a dozen wood duck houses around town. They're all cleaned and refurbished as needed. New bedding, except one, the one you and I installed
Yep.
in 40 Caves. That beaver pond has come up right to the bottom of the wood duck house. It was frozen into the ice, only by about an inch. But I'm going to have to get out on the ice as the ice starts to rot, so I can raise that house up. Or they're not going to nest in it, obviously. But I think that it's coming up someday.
Yeah,
But-
don't do that one alone.
Actually, even when I went out there, because it's flowing water, I tied off to a tree and a rope around my waist and walked out. But the ice was solid.
Yeah, all that would
Yeah,
have done.
but I'm not
yeah.
going to go alone. When the ice is rotten.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then I have cleaned out probably a dozen or so bluebird houses so far, and there's one that needs to be replaced, and I have the house ready to go. Yeah, it's time. And those are things we can do in this kind of weather because there's no activity from the wildlife is not.
Right.
Actively,
No
yeah.
birds are using the
No.
house at the moment.
When we had our site walk last weekend, I didn't even get home and I got a call complaining about trash in Northbrook and in the forest around West Street Tavern. And I did confirm that some of the trash had actually had their name and address on it because it had blown out of their dumpster. When I was out there, the dumpster was closed, but one of the neighbors who complained said sometimes it's left open, or it's overflowing to the point where it won't close. And I did not have equipment with, I had the boots, but I didn't have equipment with to pull the big plastic, whatever it was, out of the Northbrook. And you know that later that afternoon, it really started to snow.
Right.
I picked up what I could before I left there. I just didn't have any equipment with, and so now it's all covered in snow and ice. But
Right. We'll get it. Can
So-
you do me a favor?
yeah,
Can you write up what the complaint was and
Okay.
what you found, and I will get in touch with the owner
okay,
of West Street
Yeah.
Tavern, and I'm sure they will do the right thing.
Right.
If we contact them.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to do anything until I talked about it tonight.
Yep.
So. Yeah, there are other complaints, but this is the only one I think that's worrisome to us. It's all private land. It's not our land, but the stream is, and
Yes.
that's being affected.
Yep, exactly.
I was appalled at the number of beer cans, nip bottles, large containers, alcohol containers, glass, along the road on both sides in that vicinity.
You think from people parking,
I think what happens
the
is
overflow parking?
a beer at the tavern, I don't know what it costs because I don't drink or go to the tavern, but it's probably more expensive than having a couple of bumps before, whatever we call it,
Right.
before you get to the tavern, and then you can nurse a beer for an hour or two. I don't know. It just seemed that the litter collection there was way more than you would expect anywhere. And it's where they park up along the road and so on.
There's
Right.
also the liquor store right there.
Right. The liquor
Yeah.
store across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned that because I was alarmed. Okay.
Okay.
Enough.
You good?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you want more?
No.
Good. Eloise goes home pretty soon, right?
I know, right? Anybody else have anything else?
Is it appropriate to introduce our friend and my neighbor, Mr. Pessia, just
John.
for the people who don't know him.
So John Pessia lives up at Highland Ridge and is probably going to be attending some meetings. We're trying to coerce him to fill the empty spot, but we're giving him the right to say no as well.
Oh, did somebody
You didn't give me
resign?
that
Holly.
choice.
No, I didn't.
I missed that now.
I didn't give you a choice either. I let you think I gave you a choice,
Oh.
but
I was listening to Louise.
Ethan said I didn't give him a choice.
Oh.
Well, he's a very, well, you know him better than and longer than I have, but he's a man of great character and really been a real force for positive efforts to make our community better in Highland Ridge.
Yeah.
I say that from the heart and soul. So
Awesome.
thank you. Absolutely.
Those days are over, but.
And an army vet.
All right,
So
guys.
thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you. Does anybody else have anything else?
Nope.
I would accept a motion.
Motion to end the meeting. What's today? January 21st
At
at
8:50.
8:17 p.m.
Second?
It's non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you, guys.